Hey guys, this is Loony and Alex here, and we're going to be doing a PK staff Q&A.
Some staff members can't make it because of time zones, but we've got some answers from them for you.
Do you think that in incoming updates you are working on releasing heavy features, or are you planning more on concentrating on bug fixes? Now, as OmniCypher or Chris has said, our build 1.8 and beyond will focus on performance improvements and bug fixes. However, these updates will also contain pretty cool stuff that you guys I think will like. We're working on a lot of new features that are really interesting and will bring some more texture to bending.
And the more features that we add, the more bugs that get created. So we don't really focus on one or the other. We focus on both equally, I'd say.
Yeah.
The next question: what is the difference between doing a Q&A and a written Q&A, and why do you guys take so long to do this stuff? Uh, I'd say the difference is with a Q&A. A video Q&A, we can give multiple answers easily, but with a written Q&A, it gets a bit messy. And we've been focusing on development, so we haven't been really doing things like this. What do you think, Alex?
I agree that we focus a lot more on development than, I guess, doing stuff like this for the community. But I think we're starting to branch into it more as we end up having more time, as well as the new split of staff will give. Because before only Mist could create these kind of Q&As, and he didn't really have a lot of time to do everything at once, which is understandable. He's only human. And then by splitting up the staff like this, we have more time to spread around and get everything done.
You mean to tell me that Mist is human?
Well, that's what I've heard. I don't know if I can confirm that.
My life is a lie.
Okay, so our next question is, what sub-element will be getting the biggest improvements overall throughout all the betas? Well, that's an interesting question, and it's highly debatable. And while I personally think they'll all be getting interesting stuff, as Chris has put, he's going to interpret this question as implying for a 1.7 build. And currently, we're working on, and we're focusing our Devi stuff on sand and plant sub-elements. And to kind of tie into that, what element will be getting the biggest improvements overall? And the answer Chris has given for that is that we're going to surprise you guys with a bunch of reworks to fire, which should contrast our sub-element focus on earth and water, and it should hopefully diversify fighting styles and make the movesets more canon. Now, I'm personally working on this, and I think you guys are going to like it.
Yeah, I helped design the suggestions for it, and it seems cool, but I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see how it works. Depends how good of a job Alex does.
Yeah, thanks.
The next question is why do Luna, myself, dislike lava bending? And well, I don't dislike lava bending. I dislike lava. It's it's too powerful. It kills you too fast. So any move that just creates lava, like lava flow, with basically no charge time, I dislike. I think they're too strong. But I like moves like Lava Disc of Jed's, but other than that, like create lava, I don't really like moves like that.
That's pretty valid, I think. Now, another personal question. Who is the coolest staff member? Now, Chris has answered this, and personally, I feel a little betrayed, but he says that it's obviously Kool-Aid, which I can't agree with. I mean, the guy works at Twitter. That's pretty awesome.
Well, other than myself, um, Mist,
Yeah, Mrs.
cause
Obey.
like the campaign and stuff, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That actually is really cool. He's working on my campaign.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Ooh, a next question, which is, well, it's opinion based, of course. Are there any abilities or plugins or anything like that that any of the staff would like to be an add-on? Now, what Chris has said for this is that he'd like to see a really in-depth, extensive bending tutorial plugin, which uses titles and add-on support. And I think that's really cool. Really, really cool.
Me too.
What I'd like to see, but I highly doubt will ever happen due to its complexity, is some sort of tool that makes it easier for people to learn how to code things for bending. Because that would like make the community more diverse and let more people contribute in different ways.
I still wouldn't be able to know how to code. I agree with the tutorial plugin because getting into bending for the first time, it's a bit confusing for some people.
Yeah.
But I'd also want to see the the tournament plugin that I suggested a while back.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was a very good idea.
Yeah, I'd love to see that because tournaments are a pain to set up.
Yeah.
The next question is, why does concept designers get so mad when you tag them in threads? And I have an answer from Fly here. He says, because we get tagged into threads multiple times, it's beginning to get annoying. You have the same amount of chance for a concept designer to change your prefix when you don't tag them. And I agree. We look through the new suggestions every day, and tagging us in threads, it doesn't get your suggestion marked any quicker. And there's a lot of suggestions every day, and for every single person tagged us in the thread, we would get too many notifications, and it just gets spammy. So that's why we get a little upset about it.
Yeah, and I agree with that. To a smaller extent, this happens to devs as well, because people like tagging us in threads and saying, "Oh, make this, please." And I mean, it's gratifying that you think that we have time to make all these things and still live our lives. It's also unrealistic because it's a lot more work to make moves and stuff than people would generally think. For a large rework, it can take several days, several hours, sometimes a week. Like I have a deadline for an assignment that was due last weekend. Loony will tell you, and it's taking up a lot of my time getting it done. So just let us do our thing, please. We'll get it. We'll get it all to you as soon as we can.
Alex. But who was the one what said, "Oh, I can do this. I can do this by the weekend."
I could have done it if
If you
if the website didn't go down, I could have gotten it done.
the website has nothing to do with it. I shake my head at you.
It lowered the urgency somewhat.
1 minute. I'm too hot. Let me take my jacket off. Are you looking in Minecraft?
Oh my god.
There we go. That's fair.
You have a sweater on underneath.
Yeah, but it's less layers.
Moving on. On a more serious note, why was Jed kicked from devs? Now, this is going to be the official position of Chris, our lead developer, and no staff is going to tell you a different answer than this. The only reason was he was kicked for harassing other staff members and being unprofessional. And that's the official answer. That's all you're going to get.
The next question is, when will the Spirits and ProjectKorra plugin be released? Does it mean ProjectKorra 1.7?
Possibly. I would assume that's what he means.
If you do mean 1.7, there is no really official release date for that because there's lots of stuff to add and bugs keep popping up which we have to fix, so we don't really know when it's going to be released because we don't know how long it's going to take.
Yeah. And for Spirits, we're not even in a development phase for that yet. We're still brainstorming ideas and thinking about stuff and having the community think of stuff. And we're doing extensive planning on it, and we're bringing that to near completion. I think we'll be done with that. Yeah, I think probably in half a month, maybe. I wouldn't say the plugin itself is going to be here relatively soon at all.
I'd say Pro Banyan needs to be released before we work on Spirits. But that's
agree.
my opinion.
Ooh, when will you begin working on the final sub-element, which is spiritual projection? Now, Chris says he would personally like to see this in the next PK build. I think it'll be more when we've all completed our current tasks, and then someone says, "Oh, let me make this. This looks fun."
Next question is, what is the things that we're working on right now?
As a dev, what we're working on now is updating ProjectKorra to work on Spigot 1.8.7, which will fix some glitches and stuff, security errors. We're also squashing bugs, and we're making additions to the arrow logging system.
And me, I'm going to revisit Spirits again and brainstorm some ideas with other concept designers. And I find the bugs for these guys so they can fix it, and then I bug them until they fix it. So.
Yes, you do. Yes. The next question is, when will the next beta or stable build of the RPG plugin be released? Now, this is on a little bit of a delay, because we have a small amount of active developers, and it can be difficult to work on all the different plugins at once. But we do plan on giving you guys a new beta build with a bunch of cool features soon. The next question is, what was the last feature you were working on, but then threw out for some reason and you didn't finish? Chris has answered this, and he said that he actually he reworked Ice Blast a really long time ago, and I remember that actually. But he forgot to add it into PK, and he's recently done it again, and he's added it. With me, I'd say it's more I've added in events and moves, which have been overly complicated unnecessarily or just not needed for the plugin, and we all decided they weren't needed, so we just tossed them out.
The next question is, any new features involving for the reduce of spammy moves?
I know with the concept designers, they've had a lot of this debate about changing defaults.
Yeah. Well, it's me suggesting changing defaults, and then the developer shouting at me saying you don't change the default.
It's just not done, okay?
It should be.
It doesn't work, okay?
It does work. It does.
It doesn't
Yes,
work.
it does.
It has to. All right, we're not doing this.
Okay,
Okay, so we're always rebalancing and changing how the plugin works and the mechanics and whatnot, and we're working on well, it hasn't been worked on, but it's been discussed, and that's the ability to set an overall delay time between the use of moves. That's like a global cooldown, and that's like kind of been debated, but hasn't been worked on.
But I have a few ideas that I'm gonna be writing up about reducing spammy moves. The change of some types of moves and how they're activated, I think would reduce the spamness. And the fire rework might reduce the spamness.
Yeah, because it makes it more diverse. You can have a style in a way.
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any new Earth combos you are working on making or planning to work on? As Chris has said, unfortunately, we've kind of tossed that in with all our other developer laundry. We've all been tossing ideas back and forth, but only a few really good ones have been realistically thought about and discussed. And for this one, we're really looking from the community, trying to get good ideas.
My Earth combo that I posted on the forums. Yeah. The Earth Pillars one. So
Stop
yeah.
advertising, Loony. Are you guys thinking of adding some add-ons into the official plugin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah, long story short, yes. To kind of elaborate more, we've discussed a few ideas and we've worked on a few. But as we integrate them, we most likely add our own flair and recode some bits and do all that kind of stuff before we re-release it and add it to the core plugin.
The next question is, are there going to be any types of defensive moves for lava bending? I don't think we haven't really discussed them, but I have seen a few posts about them and some people do want them. I personally don't want them because I don't think lava should have defense. Well, lava bending to have defense doesn't, in my eyes, it doesn't really work because it wouldn't be your defense because it'd end up hurting you because it'd be that close to you and it's lava. So it'd be interesting to see how it would be done, but I don't think it would work.
To contrast that, as Chris said, I sure as heck hope so. What other features are being worked on besides the bending? Now, Chris has given an interesting answer to this. Chris has said that he's working on helping Loony get over his hate of lava bending, and he's working on helping me get over my hate of, well, most things, according to him.
We need help.
Yeah, we need help. Help us. Are there any missile bending moves made out there that are ready to be released? No. Not really, no. If we had moves ready, they'd be released already.
Yeah, well, when you finish the firebending rework, we can release the
That's
next
not done
beta.
yet. So, yeah,
So,
not done yet.
are there any new moves or combos that you guys are making or planning to make that wasn't originally suggested by
The previously discussed fire revamp, and if the community's response to that is really good, we're gonna try it with other things maybe, and if not, we'll try to make it mesh with the current way of bending. What was the thrilling and huge feature that everyone went insane for? Bending items, and you should all use that. It's amazing. It really is. Cool League did a great job at that.
I went insane for the bug fix, do you know that the chi and the air, if you had chi blocking and air bending, you would get the chi speed. So when that bug was fixed in a beta, I went crazy for that because it's been a bug since the start of ProjectKorra. So I went crazy for that. I don't know about anyone else. Next question is, will air get one more damaging move? I don't think air needs more damage moves, to be honest. I think they, like, with air combos, I think air is perfect at the moment. I don't, like, a few people have said that airbending needs a revamp because it's too weak, but I think it's perfect because that element requires skill to be good at, and I think that's what all elements should be like.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any air moves planned as of now. The next question is, what will the next beta bring to the game?
The next beta should bring bug fixes and changes to systems, and it should also be bringing the new fire revamp.
Yeah, all that. And bug fixes. I needed to say it twice because it's that important.
Yeah, it is a very important thing. Are there any new plant features that are being that people were thinking about adding from Orion's plugin? Definitely. I mean, we're always thinking of new ways we can diversify sub-elements and give them their own styles and capabilities.
The next question is Chi getting the same attention as how other elements are getting? I'd say that Chi is more acknowledged that it needs to work on, but it's hard because it's not hard, it'd take the most time because the entire thing needs to be reworked.
Yeah.
Whereas in elements, the base is okay, but things here and there needs reworked. So you'd see the elements updates first rather than the chi one, but it's definitely being acknowledged. We know that it needs a rework.
Yeah, we've been planning a big rework for several builds now, I think. And you should start seeing big stuff in the next full build of PK, which is 1.8.
The next question is, any new side plugins for consideration? I think they mean adding to the core.
Not as a whole plugin for some of them. We're definitely considering adding in stuff like bending preview or bending board, something along those lines.
Definitely those.
To give players an edge. And we're also considering adding in aspects from plugins. When are all the bugs going to be fixed? Sadly, as from a development standpoint, there's always going to be bugs. Whenever we add something new, there'll be a bug. If we patch a bug, there's going to be another bug. It's just how development works. There's always a bug.
Yeah.
The next version, is, of course, is going to be focused on fixing all of these bugs and upping performance.
Yeah, it seems like when we fix one bug, we create two more.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a pain, but I'm doing my best to find every single bug and then bugging developers about the bug till it's fixed. Even when it's fixed, I still bug them about it. So the next question is, will my bending class idea be developed?
Unfortunately, at this time, we're really not working on focusing on stuff like bending classes and whatnot. They don't really seem a necessary key development. Although I have read your suggestions, and I personally think they're really well developed and thought out. I really like them. I just don't know if it's something that's
Needed.
yeah,
Or if the plugin is heading in that certain direction.
exactly, yeah.
A lot of times when we see posts, even if we really like them, if it isn't right for the plugin, we can't just add them.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. When is it going to be optimized? Hopefully by the next version of 1.8.
Next question. What type of moves are the hardest to make, and what was the hardest move that you made in the previous version of ProjectKorra?
Personally, I'd say the earth and water moves are harder and the most difficult, and especially like octopus form, it's really, really complicated. I'm not sure if there's anyone necessarily on the dev team right now who could have just done that automatically, or how long it would have taken if one of us had done it now.
And what was the hardest move that you've put into the core? Hardest move to code?
Okay, I'd say Ice Blast. That was one of the hardest ones to make for me.
Really?
Actually, no. Well, no. That's the one that's currently in. The one I'm making now is probably my hardest.
I'd say cookie dough bending is the hardest to make. I know a lot of developers have had issues with it, and no one can really crack it. But yeah,
You can't tell them that.
why not?
Spoilers.
Oh, true, true. Okay.
So, Loony, here's a question for you concept designers. What thoughts do you guys have about Banyan Grove trees?
We really like it. I really like it. I did it. I rewrote it up and added a few features and went in depth to it on my Google Docs because I really like it. I definitely want it in the Spirits plugin.
Yeah. And I guess from Chris's point of view, he also thinks it would be awesome if we had our own biomes and stuff, such as the Banyan Grove, and we focus more on spirits or RPG. And he can really see this as something we seriously consider, and I agree with that. It's just a little difficult. And which kind of brings us to the next question, which is related to this. Is it even possible to code that tree to have special properties? It would be possible, of course. Most things are actually possible. But like those things, it's really hard. And we're really aiming to make all our features as nice and fluid as we can. And if it's too rigid to mess with our current style, we can always, and we have before decided just not to add it. Like, I guess, custom mob AI. It's possible, but it's really, really hard and difficult and would delay updates a lot.
Yeah. Is staff thinking in how they could add the new arm and combat improvements in Minecraft 1.9? Well, I haven't really thought about it because I was imagining bending with two arms and I I just I couldn't imagine it. So I don't really know how it works, so I can't really imagine ideas for it, if that makes sense.
And I agree, it's kind of hard to know what we can and can't add because it hasn't even been the actual. Even with 1.8 of Minecraft, even after it was released, before the software, the like bucket spigot was released for it, we couldn't really. We knew what was possibly addable, but we didn't know what we really could add because we didn't know if the feature was going to be there in our APIs and whatnot. And with this, it's even harder because the actual game version hasn't been released yet, so we really don't know what we can and cannot add.
The next question is, after the shields in 1.9 were released, will the Earthbenders have an ability to create a shield out of the Earth source block?
That's actually quite a good idea. And again, we can't really tell because most of the finer details of 1.9 are still unknown, and most of the talk about them is really speculative. Yeah, alright, guys, sorry we couldn't answer all the questions, but there really was a lot. I think we addressed like the core concepts of all that came together to give you guys a view of what we're working on and what we've kind of what our thought process is and whatnot. So I hope you all enjoyed. I definitely enjoyed making this. We might do another one really soon. So see you guys.
See ya.
Hey, look at this! I'm helping him get over his fear.
No, I can't breathe. Just
He'll be fine.
anxiety.
Yeah, whatever. No one cares.
Apparently, Alex forgot a question.
Yeah, apparently we forgot a question.
Yeah.
Loony.
It's your question. It's not mine. Just
Someone asked, are there going to be any new bending commands? Well,
This
well,
coder's on
well.
fire.
I can't really tell you much, but I'll
Loony's
give you a
on
hint.
fire.
Ready? It'll start with /B.
Oh no! Who'd have thought that? I thought it was start with /Z.
I never would have guessed. /Z. What are you on about?
Okay, is that it for the questions? Oh,
I think
are you gonna forget some more?
Are you pissed?
Are you gonna forget some more?
Are you pissed, Loony?
Okay, tell us what you think, or we might do another Q&A. Okay, say bye.
Bye.
Bye.